How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Shot Clock Podcast. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Shot Clock Podcast. My name is Nathan Shaw. As always, we're going to be joined by a guest today on Terek Pierce. Terek Pierce is the digital media content manager for the Miami Heat. He was in the bubble from the start all the way to the end, from July, late June to all the way to here we are, October 27th, and he was there from about 15 days ago. And I just gotta say, I'm looking forward to this interview, and let's get right into it. As always, I'm in a new scenery here. We're in Fort Myers, Florida. I'm on vacation. I think I mentioned that in my interview last week with It's Me Mario, aka Taylor Cross, which is one of the best interviews yet. You'll have to check it out. And we're here in Fort Myers, Florida, doing an interview, and I'm in the hotel room. As you can tell, this isn't my normal bedroom. I wouldn't have those hanging up in my room. I wouldn't have this big window. I wouldn't have this couch behind me, nor would I have this spinning chair. So let's get right into this interview. How you doing, man?
Cool. What's up, man? How's it going?
Nothing much, just chilling here. I think I'm about 2 hours away from where you are. I'm in Fort Myers right now. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'm here on vacation.
Not a bad gig.
Do what?
I said not a bad gig, man.
Yeah, not a bad one. But you've been working for the Miami Heat for how long now?
So I've been with the team for 8 years now. I started the season after the LeBron's first championship. So that opening night the next year is the year I started. So I was there for the 2013 championship. Can you hear that in the background?
Yeah, no, I can't. We're all good.
Okay. So yeah, I started the 2012-13 season. So it was technically my ninth season just ended, but my 8th year of the team.
So, in many cases, you're almost like an NBA veteran in a way, except when it comes to what you've been doing in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been around for a while, man. I've seen a lot of different iterations of the team. I've seen young guys who are now veterans. I've seen some guys retire, obviously, with Dwayne, who came in when I came in. They were, sort of in their prime and all that. But, yeah, I've been around for a while.
So for fans listening, for listeners listening, or even viewers, talk a little bit about what you do for the Heat and why is it so important?
So what I do is I'm the manager of our digital content. So what that means is I basically, part of it is I manage a team of digital content creators. So what we do is we create all the video assets that you see for our digital channels. So that's Instagram, that's Facebook, that's Twitter, our website, all that stuff. We have a lot of different departments that does help, kind of fill in some of the blanks. But for the most part, I have a team of 4. And mainly our job is to make sure that we're creating engaging content for the fans, things that we know our fans like, ways that we can help our fans relate to the team, any way that we can help amplify our team's messaging. And what I do is I manage that team. But when I first started, I was a producer for the team, storyteller, and then I went on to be a videographer for the team for a while. And then when we started the new digital content initiative, I was the first hire in that department. So I've been there since the beginning, and now I'm managing that team. But every once in a while, I make sure to get myself back into, what I started doing, because that's really what my passion is, in telling stories and shooting video and editing video. But for the most part, I lead that team, with a vision. I provide a creative vision of how things are, how we should kind of operate, the type of content we should be creating. And then they take it from there. And, it's a big team effort. We work very closely with our social media team to provide the content that you guys see all over our digital channels. So that's mainly what I do. In a technical sense, in a technical sense, that's what I do. But in a physical sense, I do it all basically. As you guys saw in the bubble, I was the marketing liaison basically between the team and everyone else. I was the only one there, so I'm also a photographer, a videographer, an editor, a producer. I can do interviews. I basically do it all.
So you know the business pretty well. So if you were ever to lose this job, you could hop right into something else almost right off the spot then.
I would hope so.
But I mean, right when you came in, which was about the 2013 season, was when social media started picking up. Like that's when
Hmm.
Instagram kind of hit its spurt. Snapchat started becoming
Right.
a thing. So you were around right when social media started kind of popping off in a sense. So
Correct.
growing up, was that ever a job that you kind of looked into?
It wasn't. And I really didn't really look into it until kind of after all that stuff happened, because I didn't work in digital content until like 3 or 4 seasons ago. 4 seasons ago, where we decided as an organization we kind of wanted to go in that direction. When I went out to college, I wanted to be a teacher, and then I walked into our student TV station there and realized that I had a love for telling stories and creating videos. And so what I went to school for was broadcast journalism. That's what I got my bachelor's degree in. I had a double bachelor's degree in English and journalism. Because I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be able to tell people stories using the skills that I have. And when I graduated, right before I graduated, I was actually doing an internship with CNN at Anderson Cooper 360. And I saw myself there. I said, man, this is my dream job. I'm going to finish this internship and I'm going to work here in news. It was like right around the 2012 election was about to start up. So it was like all this stuff. And then, at the end of the internship, I realized that I didn't necessarily want to do hard news, because hard news, in the name, it's hard. Some days you'll come in and it's a great story. And some days you'll come in and it's a terrible story. I listened to 911 calls at my internship that I wish I never heard. But as part of being a storyteller and being a journalist, those are the type of things you have to prepare yourself for. And I never really did sports when I was in college, so we had a sports TV show there. But I worked at my TV station at my school for the entire time that I was there. Um, and so when I graduated, I knew that similar to what I do now, you have to be trained to do everything. You have to be able to shoot, you have to be able to edit, you have to be able to produce. You have to be able to be on camera, which I've done some of that too. Actually, done a lot of that. And so when I graduated, I didn't see myself down here in Miami. I didn't see myself working for a sports team, and I also don't really watch sports like that. So I knew I wouldn't be like an ESPN guy, because I don't really know soccer. I don't really know, the only football that I watch is Rutgers football, because that's my college. I don't really watch NFL. I don't watch baseball. I only watch the NBA. I don't watch NCAA basketball. I only watch NBA. So I saw a job opening in Miami for an associate producer for a TV show. So I actually first started working on a TV show. And from there, that was like my dream job, was to be able to, combine my love for television, my love for the NBA into a job. And it happened that way. And then it just so happened that social media and, digital content evolved the way that it did, and that our organization wanted to put an emphasis on it. And, a lot of the things that I would do with our TV show or with our in-arena presentation, which I also used to work on, when you go to the game, they have the videos they play on the scoreboard. So I used to do a lot of that stuff too. And with a lot of that stuff, mainly what I used to do was I used to just find ways to be innovative, just step outside of the box, because there's so many people who are so good at what they do. And mainly what I would try to do is just try to find new ways to tell the same story, find creative ways to tell the same story. And whether that's, shooting it a different way, or, producing it a different way, asking different questions, editing it in a cool way that might catch your eye this time that it didn't catch it last time. Because with the NBA, everything's pretty cyclical. The same things happen. Well, not this year, but the same things happen on the same days every single year. They got to try to find ways to make that creative. And with that, the CMO of our company, when he wanted to, when our company decided we were going to put an emphasis on digital media, on digital content, he saw me as like the perfect candidate, as a person to help drive that forward, because of the fact that I was always kind of thinking 10 steps ahead. And so that's kind of how I found myself here. I'm also an avid consumer of social media. Like, I love social media. I don't I love social media for the reasons that they were originally created for.
Yeah.
I love it because it's a way to explore and, be inspired and find new ideas. And I appreciate like when someone posts a really good photo. Like I appreciate that. It's not necessarily about likes and comments for me. It's more about the art of it. And the same thing with video. Like I'm a videographer at heart. And so when I see someone using a new technique to shoot video, I want to try it, and I appreciate it, and I'll be the first to tell someone like that was a hell of a shot, or I love the way you shot that. A lot of the stuff that came out of the bubble was stuff that I had seen other people do, and I was able to adopt it for what I do. That's kind of what our industry is, where we share ideas and we share methods, we share a lot of things, and then we put our own twist on it. And so, long answer to say I didn't see myself working in social media when I was growing up, or I didn't see myself working in TV when I was growing up, but I kind of fell into it in college, and I was really good at it, and I continued to work hard at it, and here I am.
No, you're all good. I love the long answer. But you mentioned being innovative and kind of wanting to innovate the game in a way. So
Right.
let's say you were in charge of the bubble. Let's say you're Adam Silver, and you had to be
hmm
innovative in any type of way, like trying to be different about the scoreboard or the different about the video techniques they use. What would you do differently in the bubble?
I actually really loved how that whole thing came together. So from people on the outside looking in, um, it's harder to appreciate the intricacies that went into actually making the bubble work. I if it were me, I don't know if I would be able to do it better or differently. I love what they did with the virtual fans. When I first heard of it, I thought, I don't know how it's going to work. But I love that they made it like a way that fans could be involved. Fans were super engaged in it too. It was distracting for me at times because I would be looking up to see who was on the board. One game, I forget what game it was. It was in the finals, and I shot every game. So I was shooting a game, and I looked up and I saw President Obama on the virtual fan board, and I got distracted immediately. I was like, "Is that President Obama?" Like that. So like just like that, like I was there. There wasn't many people actually in the arenas, but for the people who are there, like you can see, like even we were excited about that. You know what I mean? And just the way it played off the TV. The fact that there were no actual fans in the building. With all the safety protocols in place, um, with everything that they had to kind of deal with. It was a lot of robotic cameras. That's another thing that was different, is that I'm used to 10, 15 camera guys after the game, rushing to one spot to get the shot. That wasn't here this time because of our safety protocols we had in place. So there was only a select few video and photographers. So it actually made getting shots easier. But it also took a lot of people off the floor. So like we were never allowed on the actual court to shoot, which is something I'm not used to. And to try to be creative in that sense was a challenge at first. Actually, one of the first things we posted from the bubble was a play. It was like a couple passes and a layup, and it was such a good play on TV. My shot was terrible because I didn't know what, like it was something I was completely not used to. We were sitting, we were standing, we were far. It was so different. There was a rail camera, going back and forth, and all these different things were in place, and I was just trying to shoot the game. But from that shot to the last shot, everything got like so much better. So I really appreciate what the NBA did, and I love how they innovated you know um, how the game can be experienced in a fanless, neutral site. Because at our arena, we have so many different things at our disposal that we can use to, enhance how you view the game, how you experience the game. We still had our team at home creating content for the video board inside of the arena. So even during timeouts, like there was no timeout, there was no halftime performances or anything like that. But even during the timeouts, it felt like a home game for us because our videos would be playing, they would be updated every game. So yeah, just the things that they were able to do, like I was really I was really like impressed by how they were able to innovate and create a new way of experiencing a basketball game. So I don't know if I could have done it better. One of the things I would have probably integrated though, and I don't know if they did this or not, was one of the things they tried out a couple years ago was the virtual reality. You could sit in the front row, and I remember one game they came to Miami and they did it, and they did like interviews with our dancers. They did, these stationary cameras in certain places, and if you put on a VR headset, you were at the game. And I felt like that would have been a really cool thing to innovate and integrate into a space where, there aren't many people, so you can kind of control a lot of what's happening. And I thought that would have been a really cool way for, people to get involved, for the fans to be there. I love what they did with the tap the cheer. It was really cool. I thought they did a really good job, but that's one of the things I think that I would probably have integrated, just to have a way for fans to see and feel what it was like to be in the bubble, be able to look around and see. Again, at home, you can't really see how it was, but when we were there, it was really something to witness. And the way that they pulled it off, I thought was really well done.
I do want to bring up real quick. Was that your fiance that walked in the back?
That was, yeah.
So you guys just recently got engaged. What was that? What was that feeling like for you?
We got engaged last August. And it was a wonderful thing. We've been together for 5 years now. We actually met. She used to work for the Heat. She used to work as a Heat dancer. So we met at the Heat. I came to Miami, and my life kind of changed when I met her. A lot of the things I'm doing now, I'm doing because of her. She's my other half. So last year we went on vacation to Hawaii, and I proposed, and it was awesome. And then we were planning to have our wedding this year, but then the coronavirus kind of took our legs out from under us. Being away for the 3 months in the bubble, it was really hard to kind of focus on anything besides what we were there to do. So, and then just being apart for that long of a time was challenging. But to be home now, to be with her, like it's a wonderful feeling.
Well, you're living every young kid's dream whenever they say they want to date NBA cheerleader, NBA dancer. So, congratulations on that. But
Thank you, man.
But anyways, back to the bubble. You were there from all the way to early July to late October, probably about 15 days ago now. And
yeah, 14 days ago now.
14 days
well,
ago?
15, yeah. So 14. We left the 14th. Yeah.
That's got to be a little bit of like a struggle here and there mentally. Like it's got to be mentally exhausting to be away from loved ones that long, but you have a team with you there to kind of help bond in a way. So what was that like, being able to bond with the team on a whole new level?
That was one of the things I appreciated most about the bubble, was that it was such a human experience. And this is something that you get used to working in the NBA. Your first season, you say, oh, that's Dwayne Wade, but then you realize after a while that everybody's, just a person, you know what I mean? And a lot of people, even me, like people will look at me and they'll say things like, oh man, you work for, I'm like, yeah, I'm still just a regular dude though. You know what I mean? And we all just happen to work for the same organization. And so it was such a human experience in the fact that we were all treated the same. We all walked the same hallways. We all ate the same dinners. And that was like from us, the Wizards, the Rockets, the Lakers, everyone was it was like a big summer camp experience. And that was really cool. It's something I'd never experienced before. I don't think anyone, could. Living with these guys for 3 months was awesome. And then from a human experience standpoint, it was cool to bond with the guys, be there for, every step of the way, through, the protests that were happening in the bubble, through like, when we, won the Eastern Conference championship, that was really cool to be a part of. I was here for the 2013 season, but that was my first season, so I wasn't as integrated into the team as I am now. So I never got to see a locker room celebration, so that was cool. And then just just to have that human experience, that human connection with the guys was really cool, and the coaches as well. We all became a big family out there. We really depended on each other to keep each other in good spirits, and kind of fight through it because it was a lot. The bubble was not an easy experience for, I don't think anyone that was there, but specifically for the people who were there, 90 plus days, 80 plus, it was really a challenge in a lot of ways. Not only just being away from loved ones, but for me as a creative, I'm engaged by, I'm stimulated, I guess, by the ability to create something that is dynamic. And I think what happened with the bubble a lot was we were shooting in the same arena every other day for 90 days and in the same spot, but the guys did the same routines every game. There was no travel, the same exact thing every single day. And so from a creative standpoint, there's only so many ways you can skin a cat. You know what I mean? And so it did create a couple challenges creatively where, there were certain things I wish I was able to do or that, but again, like there was so much good coming out of what we were doing. Once the game started, things became different. But, before the game, practice days, it became very much a routine. And as a creative, I think the last thing you want is a routine. You want to be challenged, and you want to have things that are, going to catch your eye, and trying to shoot a different way, just so everything doesn't look exactly the same. So that's why the photography part really helped out. I'm not a real I didn't study photography. I picked it up as a hobby, and last year during Dwayne Wade's final season, I just decided to start bringing my camera along. I was shooting games. I was shooting the games, and we were documenting his final season. But I just decided to bring my my photography camera just to, kind of get used to using it, and players, they all like the walk in with their outfits and all that stuff. So I started to shoot that stuff and started to shoot some really cool photos, during the game when I had like some downtime. And the more, I just kind of more just went with it. And then in this instance where we only literally have one person on site, I was able to do photos. I was able to do video. I was able to create some really cool moments that, that was it's going to be a part of NBA history and the longest NBA season ever. Hopefully something we don't have to do again as far as a bubble experience. But yeah, so that was a challenge. And having the guys around, and they were all like super cool, supportive. They really appreciated, the work everyone put in there, from the Disney workers to the coaches, to us. All of us were there, grinding, and that human connection with the guys was really a big part of that. A big part of what made it like interesting, and what made it fulfilling. You know what I mean?
So you mentioned the locker room celebrations, and I'm sure there's a lot of those, from beating the Bucks in 5 games to almost beating the Lakers in 6, where you guys lost in 6 games. There's got to have been so many moments where the locker room had to be ecstatic. Was there ever a time yourself where you're like, I got to jump in on this and get with the team?
I'll say the coolest moment for me was the Eastern Conference Finals. There was that was a big one. A lot of the guys, it was their first time to the finals, and you could see throughout the playoffs, you could see the first round, second round, to the third round, like certain guys, you could see them, like, oh my God, we're going to the finals. Like this is, and after the Eastern Conference Finals championship, Bam was exhausted because he had this crazy game 6. He put it all out there, and there was a moment on the court where after we won, he was laying on the ground because he was so tired, and I got this really cool shot of one of his best friends on the team, Derek Jones, like hyping him up on the ground, like yeah, like he was like punching him as he was on the ground, like yeah, like we won. And so that was really cool. But in the locker room, the coolest part was the first thing I saw was Jimmy Butler had on Tyler Herro's jersey backwards. And I was just like, man, this guy is, he's so supportive of his teammates. And, it was one of those moments I wish I had my video camera for. Um, but I was taking photos and, just so, guys were taking photos of the trophies and things like that. And it was really cool to see just how happy they were uh, to have had all this work in the bubble pay off, go into the finals. We all went there to accomplish a goal, and we were one step closer. And so that was one of the moments where in the locker room, like I was really proud to be a part of the whole experience. I know everyone else was. Just to be able to document that was really cool.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I got to be honest, one of my favorite commercials of the whole NBA bubble experience was Jimmy Butler's "You Make My Dreams Come True" with Coors Light. That
The Michelob Ultra.
Michelob Ultra, that's what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that commercial. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I really appreciate you for coming on. Really appreciate you for talking with me and sharing your experiences. So thank you for all that.
Yeah, anytime, brother. Good luck with everything. I appreciate you having me on. I look forward to catching up on your other podcasts. I know you got a couple good guests this week. You got DJ Shauna coming on.
Yeah,
She had a really cool experience out there too. We actually had a chance to meet. So I'm looking forward to see what you guys come out with this week.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. If you want to check out the Shot Clock Podcast, check it out at the Shot Clock Pod on Instagram or Spotify and Apple. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll catch you next week.